Hey everyone, welcome to my classroom. This is Wendy, and this is my SciUp lesson. I wanted to let you know before I begin that I am having to redo this without my students because earlier in the week when I recorded it with my students, we had some technical difficulty, and so I didn't think it was fair for them to have to repeat the lesson. Good morning, class. This morning we're going to be talking about data. Has anybody ever heard of that word data before? Oh, Stephen, you've heard of it before in your video game? And what do you know about data with your video game? Oh, you collect data so that you can level up and get some rewards? Great idea, Stephen. Thank you. Has anybody seen or heard the commercials on TV about unlimited data for cell phones? So what that means is that you get unlimited information. Data is another way of having information, and we like to collect that information and sort it so that we can use it. Earlier this week, we gathered some information, some data in our classroom. Does anybody remember any of the times that on Monday that we collected data and what that was for? You're right, we collected data on Monday about our brownie pan reward. We'd filled up our brownie pan and needed to choose a reward, so we collected that data of what choice reward our class wanted. What was another thing on Monday that we collected that data for? You're right, we also maxed out our champ on Go Noodle, and we needed to choose a new one, so we collected data about which champ our class wanted to have. Does anybody remember how we collected that data? What did we use to collect that data? You're right, it was tally marks. That made it easier for us to tell which one won because we had organized our data carefully. I have a question for you, and my question is, what is your favorite read aloud book? So I've prepared a chart that has the title of 3 different read alouds that we've used in our class, and I wanted to know which one was your favorite. I have also given you a popsicle stick and a marker, and I want you to write the name of your favorite read aloud on that stick. So your choices are Elephant and Piggy, Pigeon, and Pete the Cat. Once you've written the name of your favorite read aloud on your stick, you can come up and place it on our chart. Now that we have those sticks on our chart, it looks like we've got some data, but how are we going to understand what that data tells us? Is there a better way we could organize this data so that we could quickly know which one was our favorite? You're right, we could use it as tally marks. Now, the easiest way to make those tally marks is by using a table. So I've made a table here that has the titles on it of our 3 read alouds, Elephant and Piggy, Pigeon, and Pete the Cat. And we're going to use our sticks and place them in, like tally marks, onto our chart so that we can easily look at our data. Okay. You guys are doing a great job of placing those. Remember what happens on the 5th tally mark? What do we need to do? You're right, when we get to 5, the number 5 one, we're getting close on Pigeon, the number 5 one needs to go across. Good job. I like how you're leaving space so we can easily understand our data and count how many are there. Okay, we're almost done. We've almost got everybody's vote. Okay. Okay, and oops, we must have lost one. So what does our data tell us? You're right, there are 6 Elephant and Piggy, 10 Pigeon, and 3 Pete the Cat. So can you tell me which one has the most? Which one did we like the most? You're right, we liked Pigeon the most with 10. Which one did we like the least? Pete the Cat was like the least. How many more people voted for Elephant and Piggy than voted for Pete the Cat? You're right, 3 more. How many more What if we counted Elephant and Piggy and Pete the cat together? How many would we have in all? 9. Great job. Now I have one more graph for you. This graph tells us about our favorite Go Noodle. So I've written the title across the top of the graph. I've written the name of the categories down the side, and I've also written the number of students which we are collecting here in our table. I want you to write your favorite Go Noodle on your stick, and then again we're going to place it on our graph so that we can quickly look at our data and know which one we like the best. Remember again, we're going to use tally marks. Good job. You guys are doing a great job of organizing this data on our table. What are you noticing? You're right so far. Cuckoo Kangaroo has the most. Oh, Awesome Sauce is catching up. You're right. Oh, we have to remember to go across because it's a 5. Oh, Awesome Sauce caught up. There's another Kids Bop. Cuckoo Kangaroo. Kids Bop. Another Kids Bop. Another Kids Bop. Oops. Remember, we're tallying. Cuckoo Kangaroo. Kids Bop. I must have lost one stick. Okay, so what do we know? What information does this table give us? What does our data tell us about our favorite Go Noodle? You're right. Cuckoo Kangaroo and Kids Bop are tied with 7. Which one has the least? Oh, Awesome Sauce has the least. How many more does Awesome Sauce need to be tied with Cuckoo Kangaroo and Kids Bop? You're right, 2. Excellent job. Okay, it's time now for us to turn in our math book to page number 36. Page number 36 looks like this. What we're going to do is we're going to collect the directions tell us that a group of people were asked their favorite color, and we're going to organize the data using tally marks, just like we did on our charts about favorite Go Noodle categories and favorite books, to find out their favorite color. After you've made a tally for that, will you please cross it out so that you remember how many students liked each color? And then you need to answer the questions. You may work with a friend. Okay, great job. Let's go over our answers. So how many students liked red the most? You're right, 6 people liked the red. How many liked the blue? You're right, I wrote it backwards. I wasn't reading my question very carefully. I wrote green instead of reading blue. 5 people liked blue. 2 people liked green. What color did they like the least? You're right, it was green. And this question says, what is the total number of people? So we're going to add all 3 of those numbers together. The total number of people that were asked was 13. Great job. And finally, it's time now for your homework tonight. You're going to do page 37. And again, it's just like the one we just did, where you're going to be using the data that we collected in the graph to answer the questions. You're also going to be using page number 38. Again, you're going to make the graph and then answer the questions based on the data that you've collected. Great job. And then finally, we're going to do our exit ticket. Now remember, an exit ticket you need to do all by yourself. The directions say a group of students were asked what they ate for lunch. Use the data below to answer the following questions. So for lunch, 3 people ate sandwich, 5 people had a salad, and 4 people had pizza. Question number 1 wants to know what is the total number of students who ate pizza. Question number 2 wants to know which lunch was eaten by the greatest number of students. Question number 3 wants to know is the total number of students who ate. What is the total number of students that ate pizza or sandwich? Now this one's a little tricky because what they're asking you is to add those 2 numbers together And then finally for number 4, it says write an addition sentence for the total number of students who were asked what they ate for lunch.